name's Tara, and I want to welcome you in here to Elevate, and thank you for joining me for some basic breath, yoga breath, and meditation ideas here to help with calming the self, with helping to just bring the self to know the self. There's lots of reasons for meditation that help the body and spirit both. And I'm gonna like to talk about this blanket here. This is just a wool blanket that I have rolled up, and I'm going to use it to draw my spine, it helps me to sit a little bit better in easy pose, Sukhasana. I am a certified yoga instructor. I have been since, I want to say 2003, 2004, something like that. It's been a while, and I went in becoming a yoga teacher because I found that yoga helped me out. One of the main things that helped me out was just learning how to breathe. People in general, I think, we take the breath for granted. It's a natural function of our body. And if we take control of the breath, then that changes. All of a sudden, we start to draw inward a little bit, right? And that's what meditation is, allowing the self to take some time to listen to the self. And so the breath work helps with that. The nose itself is a nice apparatus for breathing, right? We can inhale nice and deep, exhale nice and deep. The mouth itself is used for shorter breaths, quicker breaths, right? Let's just give that a quick little test here. So let's open the mouth and you take a breath in and release. And take a breath through the nose and release. So the breath through the mouth is, you can feel it here and maybe right down at the very low belly too, but it's very rushed in, very short. It's hard to elongate it, especially on the way in. On the way out, you can control it a little slower maybe, but in general, the mouth does create that rush breath, and you could feel that. When we did the nose, all of a sudden it was easier to slow the breath down, having a longer breath to come through the body, going deeper down, maybe even to your toes, and then releasing out nice and slow. So that's the basic yoga breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. Sometimes we could do equal counts in, equal counts out. A lot of people, we can go into counting the breath where it becomes just a little longer on the exhale too. And a lot of times that automatically happens just by breathing that breath through the nose. Okay, so the breath being important. The third thing is, should the eyes be open or closed? And there are different techniques and methods about that. I like having the eyes open, having a focal point. So I did draw a little picture here of a mushroom that I will put closer to the screen when it comes time to give, like a focal point. When we're taking several, maybe 8 breaths or so, just to get the idea of focusing and breathing at the same time, right? That breath through the nose, I'm talking about focal points. A drishti point is what they would call this, as you focus the eyes on something. And that would be the drishti point, or where we look in meditation. A lot of times yoga poses have a drishti point, a point of focus, right? the breath having controlled through the nose is also a focal point. And the focal point is the nose. And having only one focal point rather than like thinking about what the nose and mouth is doing, right? We just think about what the nose is doing. And that helps also in that meditation of having less to think about, having that focus point. So let's practice just a few breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. We'll do 3 of them, and I won't bring up any picture or anything because it's just 3 breaths through the nose. Just draw your spine tall and relax the shoulders. One thing I haven't talked about here is the mouth, a lot of times, in order to relax that mouth, and it would be because we breathe in, all of a sudden we start to tense that jaw. So if we just take the tongue and the very tip of it, just stick it right there at the very roof of the mouth, just behind the front teeth there at the top of the mouth. And that allows the jaw to open, relaxes the jaw slightly. It also helps open the throat a little bit more and the air to flow a little more natural through that nose. Okay, so we've got a lot to think about when we're trying to narrow our thought, and that's what we start to realize. And a lot of times the more narrower we get, the more precise we're trying to get, it opens up all of a sudden these more other things, right? Okay, but that's just the way it is. So let's sit tall. Let's have our eyes open. You can find something to look at and concentrate for these 3 breaths, all right? And I will count in. Let's go ahead and begin breathing through that nose. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time, breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and release, 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice the breath hopefully going deeper. Maybe you feel certain parts of the front or back torso that start to fill with air, right? Or where the release comes from. So these are just as we try and go simpler, like I was saying, all of a sudden we can become more complicated. So I want to try and work on us focusing that breath for 8 breaths now. And I will go ahead and I will see if I can put this up just so that you can have something to focus on. While you're breathing, eyes open. There is something I think about with eyes open rather than closed. And there are different meditations, but this one working with those eyes open and taking, let's do 8 breaths this time. And let's sit tall and begin. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to continue on my own breathing without counting. And taking another breath in, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I noticed as I start going in, do the meditation myself and the counting, I start to lose track of really how, when I'm counting to myself, how many counts was it? I get distracted. I lose focus of the breath. These are things about meditation that we shouldn't be disturbed about. It's really hard to get the mind to focus. Focus on something for a minute. Focus on something for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Especially the self, where we just listen to the self. What is the breathing? Can I go that deep? Can I go 4 counts in? Can I release 4 counts out? Is that a task? Do you find yourself being able to go deeper afterwards? When the breath becomes easier. You might start to notice where you feel the breath in the body, what part of the body is feeling with that air, and where the air is releasing out of the body. You might notice the body feeling like it shrinks and grows with each breath. Bit of a slinky our spine goes through every breath. And this is the thing, is to allow the self a little bit of time with self, because there's so many things out there that want to take us out of the gentle peacefulness that each of us have. That place within ourselves where we feel secure. That place of ourselves where we feel like we can create from, right? Where we can grow from. And there's a shyness about self and going into meditation, taking slow breaths in, taking slow breaths out, sitting tall. So I'm going to try this. We're going to do 3 minutes of meditation here. You practicing that breath in through the nose, out through the nose. What's comfortable? And when it's not comfortable, not forcing the breath. Go ahead, bring yourself tall. Start with the eyes open, the mouth soft, maybe even a slight smile. And begin the breath in through the nose. Nice and deep. Slow down as you can go. And then releasing out. And doing this over and over again here. Keep breathing in through that nose and out. Sorry if you can hear my breathing with this mic so close, or my mouth movement. Keep breathing. Eyes open, they get tired. Keep opening them. Relax the jaw and breathe. Excuse me. All right, so this would be some nice first steps here as you come out of your meditation, out of that breath. Some nice first steps of practicing that breath in through the nose, out through the nose. There's other meditation, there's other breathing. But this is a nice place to start. I want to thank you for coming down here to learn very simple breath work, very simple meditation. And simple doesn't mean easy, right? And that's something we need to learn. Just because something's simple doesn't mean it's easy. A lot of times those simplest things are the hardest for us. So don't feel bad if the mind wanders, if you find it hard to even take a few breaths and you want to get up and leave. Be patient with yourself. I think that's like the hardest thing there is for me is being patient with myself. All right, I think this should conclude some basic information on meditation, a simple way to meditate, a simple way to breathe. Join me for further posts, further videos on meditation, yoga, other ways to help ourselves through troubling times. Namaste.